Aaron, a lot of back and forth, 5 lead changes. What do you think about the way your team battled tonight to eventually get the win?
Yeah, well, I mean, what a game, really. Riz came up to me in about the 7th or 8th. We kind of connected, and he's like, man, what a game. And I was like, I was just saying that on the step. Gritty game by them, just the back and forth, a lot of big plays, a lot of big moments. Really happy with our at-bats. We didn't necessarily sting the ball all over the yard, but, man, we had a lot of heavy at-bats, big at-bats, almost really close to really breaking it open. We didn't get a big hit in some certain situations, but I thought our at-bat quality, man, we were tough. And then obviously, bullpen coming in and holding the line and we finishing it off. So obviously a good way to start.
You mentioned those big at-bats. Austin Wells in particular, we were asking you the other day about your commitment to him in the cleanup spot. What did you think of the poise he had in the batter's box, that walk in the 5th, the RBI single in the 6th there, first playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, that Serpa's in that game. He's tough lefty to go up against there, is similar to the at-bat he had against Perez when we clinched. It's just a long, grinded out, not going to chase you, big-time at-bat. And, that's why I love him in there. But, yeah, some really quality at-bats from him and some big, impactful plate appearances.
Second row on your left, Aaron.
Aaron, Soto 3 hits tonight, his first game as a Yankee in the postseason, but that play in the second inning, throwing Perez out at home, what do you see out there from him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it. I'm thinking just, keep it from going to the corner. I'm thinking maybe it's got a chance to get to the wall. In my head, I'm not even thinking the play is the play, and he just put on a great throw and finished off there by Austin to kind of, keep that inning from getting away from us. I mean, not only cutting down the run, but getting us another out. They're set up big time right there if they score that run. But that was a big play. We did a lot of really good things on defense tonight. Judgy right out of the gate making a really good play deep in the left center there. Jazz made some plays. I thought Glaber made a good play. It was a big time throw.
Brian in the second row.
Aaron, you were wrestling with who to start in left field for a while, or at least it seemed that way. What tipped it in Verdugo's favor?
I just trusting that he's going to be ready for the moment and his experience and his track record. And again, I know it's been a little bit of an up and down, tough second half for him offensively, but the guy's a good hitter. I mean, it doesn't mean he's not going to hit moving forward. So. And he made, man, I forgot to mention that play he made slide. I mean, that's as tough a chance as you're going to have as a left fielder with that ball slicing like that on the run. That's easy to get handcuffed and mess that play up. But, great play there and obviously some really good at-bats.
We'll go to Ron in the first row.
On that play, what was your view of it and what's going through your mind?
Verdugo?
As it juggles off his wrist and chest to the bare hand.
Oh, I didn't even know it did that. Yeah. I just knew he caught it. I didn't go look at the replay. I knew, I got a great angle of seeing it slice in there, and I'm like, oh, and he's, that full speed run where you got to slide, I know that's about as tough it's going to get. So even cooler that he tipped it around a little bit.
Go to Danny on the left center aisle.
You talked about him pregame and the at-bats that he was taking. What can a night like tonight do for him moving forward?
A lot. Look, he's a really good all-around player and went through some stretches where it was a struggle, but that's what he's capable of, and just a really good game-winning at-bat there, going the other way there. I mean, just, and Jazz's route to home plate was excellent to allow it to be a run, but he's a good all-around player, and it's not always what you did, it's what you're capable of doing moving forward. I think he's been chomping at the bit for postseason baseball. He's had experience doing it before, he's had success doing it before, so I think this is one of those things that hopefully gives him a lot of confidence moving forward.
First row on your left, Peter.
What did you see from Garrett tonight?
It was a grind. They got behind in some counts, and they put some good swings on some balls. I thought he made a couple good pitches in that first inning where they hit the ball hard off him, where Judge made a good play. So they took some really tough at-bats, and sometimes it was because they got some leverage in the count and didn't miss their pitch. But thought he battled, goes out there for the 6th and gave us a chance to win on a night when it was a little bit of a grind for him.
Go to Gary and then Chris.
Clay's another guy who's had some ups and downs. What did you think of the way he pitched tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. He comes in that spot and kind of has to navigate the middle of the order there, to give us, what he ended up giving us, 4 outs, 5 or 5 outs, 5 outs. Through their middle of the order there was obviously a big point in the game when it's kind of that back and forth. So, yeah, really excited for him to get in there and do what we know he's capable of.
I'll stay there with Chris.
There were a lot of fans who wanted you to replace Verdugo with Dominguez when he was called up. How have you seen Alex just handle the amount of criticism that's come his way really all season long?
Yeah, I think okay. I'm sure, he hears some of it, and, that's not always fun, especially when you're a good player in this league and stuff. But as far as handling, Jason coming up and obviously playing a lot and taking some time away from him, he was pro and ready to do his job, and did some really good things when his number was called, along with Jason down the stretch, and he's clearly ready for this moment tonight.
Do 2 more for Aaron, second row on your left.
Oswaldo made some pretty nice plays and some throw saver plays at first. What did you see from him tonight over there?
Yeah, that, just the first pick on the ball that Volpe made a really good play in the hole. Like, that's a tough one because there wasn't a lot on the throw, so it's not it's a slower pick, not an easy one at all. And he made that, and then obviously a good stretch on the ball that was smoked at Jazz that kind of cut on him a little bit. So I thought he did a real nice job for us over there tonight.
One last one for Aaron. I'll finish up with Max on your right.
How impressive was Luke there at the end?
Yeah, great. Obviously a big out there to get Garcia to finish off the 8th, but to navigate that part of the order, some deep, tough at bats. Massey had a good at bat against him. Witt had a good at bat against him. He didn't give in and was able to finish those off, and then executed it once he got ahead of Pasquantino there to get to roll over. So excellent, especially his first time in the playoffs and going through the top of that order right there after finishing off the 8th inning is no easy task, and he was up to it.